Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. This is where I just sit and talk about whatever on my mind. If you enjoy, feel free to like and subscribe. I'm planning on doing more like this soon. So, since the second I came out the womb, I loved animals. And I've had not that many, but enough for it to make a difference. Because my parents aren't very about pets, especially my dad. So I was able to get away with having a bunch. So the very first pet I ever had was a rabbit. We got him in October of 2014. He was a black Rex and his ears stood up straight and he had little brown paws and a few white splotches all over him. We found him in our backyard and over time he just got worse, but we trapped him in one of my grandpa's traps. And I don't want to sound like Snow White, but he'd only let me get close to him. We tried to trap him with the laundry baskets, but it never worked. But like I said, he only let me get close to him. We didn't think he was gonna live that long. We thought he was gonna live 2 weeks because we were told his heart was weak, but he ended up living 9 years. He originally was in a small cage put in our little playroom, but then he upgraded to the whole playroom, and he would chew on the Barbie's hands and hair. It eventually turned into half of the room during COVID, because my mom had to make it into a work office. He would follow me around. Every time you would shake a raisin box, he'd run right over to you. And this trained him to come over whenever I would bend down, because I was the only one that actually played with him. He was put into my room once for a party, and this girl came in, and she's like, I can pick him up, I'm special. But we kept telling her, no, you can't. You can't pick him up, like he just doesn't like that. And my sister, because of this, was like, hey, if you do this, I'll bring Mr. Bunny up to your room. But she never did because she's a liar. Sometimes he would get out of his room. And when I say sometimes, I mean I'd be the one to let him out. But I made sure it was in a controlled environment. He loved apple biscuits, and we gave him 2 every day, but I would also give him some, so it's probably an unhealthy obsession. Every time he pulled out a banana, it was his favorite fruit. He would show so much character. Like, he would go around chasing you, nibbling you. He would, throw his whole body at you just to get a bite or a sniff. I would spend so many nights with him, and I would take naps. I would read to him for my assignments in elementary school. Then one day, he low-key stopped pooping. We thought he was gonna die, but then we took him to the vet, and we spent 5 hours there. And we gave him this medicine, and we're like, if he don't poop in 3 days, we got put him down. But he pooped on the last day, and he was fine. Until he got a tumor in his balls. We could have removed it, but it would have been risky because rabbits don't do good in amnesia. We thought he was neutered, but he apparently wasn't, because why else would he get cancer there? And it would make sense because he would get frisky with my dad, but he never humped me. We obviously had to put him down because it was becoming a hassle for him, and we saw that he was in pain. Every time I look at photos of him now, he just doesn't feel real. My very first personal pet were these 2 fishes called Bella and Ella. They were 2 orange guppies. I originally wanted the black ones, but they wouldn't come until the next week, and since I was a kid, there's no way I was gonna wait that long for 2 fish. We finally get them acclimatized, and it's really happy, really fun. But I was like, how do I play with them? How do I not just stare at them? So I found this wooden dowel, this blue wooden dowel. Oh man, this is so messed up. And I'm like, perfect, I'll just play with the fish with this stick. I stick it in the water and the dye starts seeping out in an instant. And I'm like, oh sugar, what do I do? So I take a tissue and I try to soak out the dye from the water, and I see it's gone. Alright, I assume it worked. So I just go to bed, and I wake up and I see they're fine. So I just go to my elementary school. But then I come back and my mom greets me and she's like, your fish are dead. So I cry, obviously. So we go to the pet store for a refund because they died in 24 hours. And I think you get a refund if that happens. And the person's like, bring us the water and we'll tell you what happened. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't bring them the water, because they're gonna know that I killed them. But they just told us that they couldn't examine the water because apparently the fish rotted in there for too long. But I'm suspecting they died not because of me, but because they just didn't have a heater. Somehow my mom lets me get another fish. This one was a baby betta fish, and her name was Spirit. I thought that was so tough. I had her for about a year and a half. We low-key would play hide and seek. Like, I'd close my eyes and she'd swim away, then I'd try and find her, and then I would duck down, she'd try and find me. It was so much fun. And then she'd just stop swimming. Every time she would swim up, she would just sink. I'm pretty sure it was because she just ate too much and there were bladder issues, but I low-key just wanted her to die because she was just in so much pain. And it came to the point when I was like, should I just put her in a sock and bang her on the table? Or was that for hamsters? Low-key, it got graphic. I finally decided to stop killing fish and got a hamster named Turd, August 2022. He was a poopy brown fancy hamster who had a little white goatee. He was the cutest little guy in the world, and I had him for about over 2 years. When I was thinking about getting the hamster, I was thinking about naming him Spoiled Milk, because I thought that would have been funny, until I saw him, and I was like, Turd. He loved sunflower seeds. I remember holding him for the first time, and he was shivering. I don't know if that was me, or I don't know if that was him. When we first got him, he kept escaping because the bars were too large. So we had to put mesh around it, but he kept chewing it. We eventually just put him in a plastic tub, which sounds bad, but I promise it wasn't. And we eventually got it double-deckered. He low-key moved like he never knew what was gonna happen next. He escaped a bunch. One time he escaped for 3 days. The other time he chewed through a towel. This other time he knocked over his wheel, stood on it, and chewed the mesh wiring. He climbed on my bed sometimes, I don't even know how. And one time I was just sleeping and I feel this like presence crawl across my chest. And I'm like, what was that? So I wake up and there he is in my bed. I don't even know how. But then he died out of nowhere. Like, he just blew up like a balloon. Like, I knew it was over the day I saw him and he didn't move an inch after I got home from school. So I took him to the emergency vet clinic and I put him down. And they spelled my name like crap. And that's so messed up. K-R-A-P-P. My very last pet was named Remy. We got him August 2023. He loved mealworms. He was gray and white. I snuck him into the house. I walked in the pet store and I asked for a rat. And I waited like 30 minutes. And during that 30 minutes, I could have backed out, but I didn't. So I'm at the register. I'm like shaking. I'm like, are they gonna let me get him? But they never ID'd me. And I was 16, so I guess I just stood there in confidence. I had a whole breakdown because I felt bad about getting him behind my parents' back. He escaped twice, and both times I found him, he was just chilling in Turt's house. One time he got out, and my mom asked to see him, so I stuffed a sock and pretended it to be him. And I was like, Mom, you gotta leave. Like, he's in there, but he's sleeping, like, you gotta leave. So she kept trying to glimpse at him, and she's like, wait, I think I see him. But she just looked at the sock. So Turd moved as if he didn't know what was gonna happen next. Remy moved as if it was gonna be his last movement. He was about 2 years old. Once Turd died, I put him in Turd's home because his home was low-key a lot nicer than Remy's. Then he got a tumor on his leg and it was cheap, but it was also expensive. It's around $200. And I was so ready to put him down and I just spoiled him so much. But after the surgery, he survived and he was so good and we like genuinely had such a good bond during that. Eventually I had to rehome him and the lady won't send me pictures. Honestly, lady, if you're watching this, send me a photo of him. Like, what? That's the end of my story. I hope you enjoyed. And as you can see, I got a victory royale.